Okay. Hello, and welcome to Great Hearts Online Tuesday Talks. My name is Jessica Smith Perry, and I am the Senior Director of Growth with Great Hearts Online. This is a new series that we're kicking off today where faculty and leaders share the exciting work that is happening to welcome new and returning students and their families on August 10th, first day of school, August 10th. We'll continue the series through the first few weeks of school to share updates on the happenings at Great Hearts Online as well. So tune in live on one of our Facebook pages or on our YouTube channel, or watch the recording at a time that works for you. Today, for our first Tuesday talk, I am excited to be here with Ms. Heidi Vasiloff, Executive Director for Great Hearts Online. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, how are you, Jessica? Good to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for being on our inaugural Tuesday talk. And as the leader of Great Hearts Online Arizona, Great Hearts Online Texas, it's a pleasure to have you on. So Heidi, I'm going to have a few questions for you today.
Okay.
You know, we now have a whole year of school under our belts in both Arizona and Texas. And so our conversation today is going to center around the big takeaways from last school year and what's new or different for the upcoming one. And maybe some stories thrown in because I know you're always good for that. So question one, what were our biggest learnings at Great Hearts Online this past year?
You know, that is such a great question. We want to know from our parents, our families, our students, our teachers, what is happening and what is working and what is not. One of our biggest takeaways is that our families, our kiddos love our teachers. And of course we do too as administrators. We have a fantastic team made up of just highly skilled, committed, loving individuals who are teaching our children. And I mean, some of the best I would put up against anybody in the network. And also they're passionate about their subject, passionate about teaching children. So we know that our families love our teachers. I think the things, and of course the curriculum, being engaging in these great conversations, listening to and being part of the voices, hearing the stories from history and the stories from our literature, engaging the children in the why and the what and who and what does it mean to be this or that and how do we experience that as humans has been profoundly beautiful in this online environment, sort of surprising. So I've been delighted to know that both our curriculum and our teachers translate well to the online schools and that our families are engaged in that. I think on the other side of the coin, some of the things that we've learned from our families is that we have to have very high quality homework assignments that is meaningful, that is going to lead the students to, and homework is one of those terms that we use loosely because if you're working at home or in an online environment, it's all sort of homework. So we call it independent work, right? Whether it's practicing a skill like math or reading, or whether it's really reading that book, spending time in that text to be able to respond to questions the next day. So we think deeply about the quality of our homework, and that's something that we've been continuing to work on, and I'm really excited about our changes for next year. And then, of course, community is the other thing. Our families definitely want community. Community is important to our teachers and to our faculty as well as to our families. And so we have events both in our local communities. So if you live in the Phoenix area or in the San Antonio area or Dallas, we have community events happening there. We have field trips. Small groups are getting together, working through the micro school pieces of it. So lots of different opportunities to engage in the community. So for next year, we're really focused on quality and on community. So.
Beautiful. And I know we have had some dedicated info sessions focused on that community, what we're doing, what that looks like, and perhaps we'll have more sessions focused on that as well, because I know that is a big request and it's something that our faculty really want to be able to provide as well. Our teachers want to be able to meet their students in person and interact with families, and it's a beautiful thing to extend those relationships beyond the school day in our virtual environment to the in-person, where we can have book celebrations and share the things that are really important with us together in person.
Yeah, I love it. We had teachers that drove very long distances to come and be part of a day that they could be together with their scholars. And we have reading about butterflies and releasing them into the wild by other teachers. And then also we have virtual engagement, right? Whether it's clubs or whether it's a community builder where they can all get together and be there. Those are all things that are important to us.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, so I'm hearing community, right? Big focus on community. I'm hearing big focus on quality homework. Yes, we have homework in our virtual school, and focus on leadership. So tell us, what can we expect different or completely different or slightly different this upcoming school year?
Yeah, I think you're going to see the same quality of instruction in the live time with the teachers engaging in that. Everybody gets a set of materials, and I joke all the time. I'm going to show my pine cone here, but everybody gets a box full of. This is for science class, by the way. But a box of materials, whether it's the books, the text, the tools that they're going to need, and a science kit, depending on the grade levels, how complex it is, so that they have the tools that they can engage with. And that's really important to us, that we have our students set up for success. The other piece in there, of course, is our Canvas, which is our platform that we use, streamlining that so it's really easy to navigate through, and for parents as well. Some parent onboarding that's starting this year as well. So lots of new, seemingly small, but refinement that we've been doing to our model that we're excited about. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is the majority of our teachers and leaders are all returning. So we have a really stable teaching group. And what I love about that is it takes a while to translate yourself from being an in-person teacher to being a live person teaching online. And I feel like we've just chosen fantastic educators to come and be in the lives of our families.
Yeah, beautiful, wonderful. Okay, so you mentioned pine cones. I am just curious. I know that, I've seen our Scholar Success Kit. We have wonderful textbooks. We have more so workbooks that we provide to students, and a document camera. We have all sorts of new things that we have purchased, and the operations team has very carefully and intentionally handcrafted these kits to go out to families. But the pine cone seems to be a special edition. Can you tell us how all of these, however many they are, pine cones were sourced?
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even ask that. They're from my yard. I have pine trees all around us. And so we went and picked up all the pine cones and put them in a box, because we want our scholars to be able to have tangible things that they're looking at. And there is something that's really important about the touching and feeling of things, and to observe them as they are scientists. And we also provide, and this is sixth grade, so I'm going to talk to that really quickly. But in sixth grade, they all get a field journal. That field journal is for them to go outside and observe and write. This happens to be an observation of ants. But we want them to become scholars of their own right, really studying and looking at things that are around them, getting to know their backyards, getting to know the things that grow there locally. They can also add color. I just have to show this one off a little bit. There's a little bit of color in there. With the leaf and the structure. So we want them to think like a scientist, but it also puts in art and puts in writing and puts in reading and observation skills. So when they get the mighty pine cone, it's not just about drawing or sketching it, but it's about really understanding how it works. What does it mean to be a gymnosperm? What does it mean to have the structure of it? Why is this an effective structure? How is it adapted to fire? Right? Like what makes something release the seed? And when does that happen? Even the shape of a tree. If you've never thought about the shape of a pine tree, right? Why are houses in places that get a lot of snow shaped like pine trees? And we would argue for the snow to fall off, right? I mean, just those little kinds of observations make it very engaging for our students. So we want them to have the lesson in the computer where they've gotten to engage with their teacher, and then they get to go outside. And when they go outside, they get to engage with the actual materials that we've just discussed and apply it to what they see in their backyard.
Oh, that's beautiful. And thank you for showing that demonstration of the field journal. Tangible things, right? That we as humans need to touch and manipulate and explore. We learn so much by having something in our hands.
Correct.
A lot of families that are considering Great Hearts Online want to know if everything is done online, right? So is all of the coursework completed online? Are students doing math and reading, everything that they have to do online? How do you answer that question?
Yeah, I would say that we're definitely we're a blended classroom. There's going to be instruction and time to engage. We believe in the discussion of great books and question and answers and being involved in that in a community online. But we want them to practice and to do things on paper. We want them to work on their handwriting skills. That's a fundamental thing, that it's not just about learning how to write correctly, but there's something about the translation of content into your brain and into the learning that happens when you use a pencil and paper. So they're going to have workbooks. They're going to have, like I said, science experiments that they do outside of class. So they'll go and do a lab using chemistry sets and so forth. And then that might be recorded, or it could be a science journal that they're recording it in and turning it in. That's when they use the DocCam. And I know you sort of said that, but we have each student receives a document camera. And each of those cameras then are used to not only for the teacher, so if you can imagine you've got a young one who's learning how to write, the teacher can actually see the pencil grip and how they're working, but also a way to record your science experiment or to record your homework and turn it in. So I would say, and what we believe is that we're about 50% in the virtual environment on the computer, 50% on paper and pencil. For the older grades, for the younger grades, it's actually more like 40% on the computer and 30% on the computer, and the rest is done independently, which means that our families are really engaging with us as facilitators of their children's education. So we are a partnership. We're a parent, a teacher, and the child, all three of us working together to serve that student.
Beautiful. Well, and I was just reminded yesterday that the triangle is perhaps the strongest shape, right?
That's
is that
right.
true?
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
So we've got that triangle of parent, guardian, student, and teacher.
Correct. I love that.
To make that strong bond and support for all of our students' education with Great Hearts Online. Fantastic. Well, Heidi, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close out?
I will add one other thing. One of our new pieces that we're working with right now is how do we become more flexible for parents that are looking for a more flexible option? Mm-hmm. And so stay tuned for more information about that, because one of the things, we are very structured. We have 4 hours of instruction in the morning for our 3rd grade through 8th grade students and 2 hours for our youngers. In that model, we found that some families may have perhaps a student that is really great at gymnastics, and they want a flipped model where they can go to school in the afternoon, or they want to have a little bit more flexibility. We're working on that, and we're going to be launching that soon. So look for that. If you are a parent who's like, I need more flexibility, we may have an option for you as well.
Okay, thank you. So I hear Heidi hinting at some news that might be coming here in the next week or so. So thank you for that sneak peek. All right. For those watching, be sure to tune in at the same time and the same place next week, Tuesday, July 12th, and every Tuesday moving forward for the next couple of months, as we will continue our Tuesday talks. Next week, we are featuring Ms. Emily Sullivan, our online education specialist. She will be discussing how we are welcoming and training our new faculty for the upcoming school year. We're excited to have you with us. Follow the link provided to keep learning with us, to stay in touch, and join our school. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye, Jessica.
Bye, Heidi.